In a courtroom, eyewitnesses change everything. Because without them, you don't have a case. And when it comes to the Antichrist, we've been asked to believe something very strange. On one side, you have eyewitnesses, the reformers, men who lived through it and identified the Antichrist. Not an Antichrist, the Antichrist. But today, we're told it's still in the future. A man no one has ever seen. So here's the question. Do you trust the eyewitnesses or a theory with no witnesses at all? Let's examine the case. When the reformers spoke about the Antichrist, they weren't pointing at a single man. They were describing a system, something that had been building for centuries. The church and the state were not separate. They were one. So think of it like gravity. The larger the body, the stronger the pull. A system with laws, armies, institutions, all orbiting the same center. And this was enormous. And the reformers stood against it. And it came at a cost. William Tyndale was executed. Martin Luther was excommunicated, which didn't just mean you can't come back to church. It meant you were cut off. From work, from trade, from protection, you disappeared. And this system didn't appear overnight. It grew over time until it reached a point where it could act in the name of Christ while doing the opposite. That's what they were pointing at. Not a man who would arrive one day, but a system already at full power. So that raises another question. If this system was so large, so established, how did a small group of reformers become dangerous? They weren't an army. They didn't have power. They were a minority. So why the reaction? Because they weren't just opposing it, they were identifying it. There's a difference between resisting something and revealing what it is. One creates tension, the other removes cover. And once something is seen clearly, it can't function the same way. Authority depends on perception, and they challenged that at the highest level. So the danger was never their size. It was what they were saying. They said, this system, this power is the Antichrist. Not someday, now. And once you see that, the question changes. It's not, is he still coming? It's, what do you do with the witnesses who said he was already here? Over the past week, I've seen a few thoughtful questions come up. And one of them really stayed with me. Someone said, maybe the reformers were dealing with an Antichrist, but not the Antichrist. And I understand why that sounds reasonable. Because if you've been taught your whole life that the real Antichrist is still coming, then anything in the past can't be him. But think about what that means. It means you have eyewitnesses, people who lived through it, who wrote it down, who said, this is him at full power right now. And the response is,
I'm not sure what they saw.
I think they misunderstood what they were looking at. I hear what they're saying, but I still think the Antichrist is coming.
why? Because you already believe he's somewhere else. So now you have a choice. Do you trust the people who were there, or a version of the future that no one has ever seen? It's like this. A group of witnesses say, we saw Mr. Smith in the library. And someone responds, I still think he was at home, alone, watching TV, getting ready for something later. So whatever those witnesses saw, it couldn't have been him. In a courtroom, that doesn't hold. You don't replace eyewitnesses with imagination. And once you do, you're not following evidence anymore. You're protecting a belief. If multiple eyewitnesses across different countries, across different decades, all point to the same system, at what point does that stop being opinion and start becoming evidence? Now, if you're new to this, there's something you need to understand.